Good evening, this is Lynx. In all the years that I've been doing readings for people and doing hypnosis for people, there are some patterns that I've seen relating to success. And one of the biggest ones that I've seen that keeps people from succeeding is they hang on to the poison or the thing that harms, and they neglect the thing that gives nourishment. Now, I want to explain that. Your body is an amazing machine. It will take nourishment from the food that you give it, and it will take what it needs and it will use it to build muscle, energy, whatever it needs. It will convert that and use what it needs. And it will just simply get rid of the waste. It doesn't sit around going, oh well, I want to grab this waste and ponder it for a little while. And when it does, in those occasions when someone's body is out of whack and it's not working properly, and it does, and it holds on to the waste instead of removing it, what happens? You get something going on like, say, fibromyalgia, where it's holding on to the waste, the body's holding on to the waste, and then it will settle in an area, and that waste in that area will start to literally eat away at that area and then cause pain. And then when the person moves or exercises or massages or whatever, it'll move and it'll go around to another area and it'll settle in that other area. And then it'll start to eat away at it and cause pain. And so the body indicates the same thing that happens to our mind in that case. When our mind isn't accepting the nourishment and removing the waste, then the waste lingers. And then we could be just fine, we could be going along with our day, and then all of a sudden something happens and we feel pain, or we feel down, or we feel whatever. So what I've noticed about people who succeed is that they're very good at taking the nourishment or the thing or the advantage from a situation and letting the waste go. The stuff that they don't need, they let it go. So this stuff, okay, whatever, but this stuff, this here's the gold, this is the jewel. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a little trick, and then you can either do this yourself or you can get a reading for someone who knows how to do this. And let's do it and say in terms of, like, maybe you had a job experience or experience in your life that kind of brought you down, or you had a relationship, and you look back and you're focusing on, oh, this person was this, they were evil, they were right, they did all this to me. What was the good? What was the good you got in the situation? So I got a woman here who she's upset about what happened with her ex-husband. Well, we're not going to focus on going over that again and again, because all that does is it when you go over something again and again, it wears the grooves, the neuron dendrite connections, it makes them stronger. So if you had a really painful experience and you keep going over it, you're just making it stronger. The more you go over it, the more you're strengthening it. And if you find a way to sort of not ignore it, but use it to your advantage, it changes it. So we're gonna say what in this situation was good from that. What good came out of that? What was good there? What was usable? What's an advantage? What's the nourishment? Okay, so what's the nourishment she got? Not the negatives. So the nourishment she got was this. This is the Two of Wands and the Tower. Okay, so she found in her the ability to make her own choices, her own decisions, and move forward and not be afraid to start over. So she found in her the courage and the strength to make her own decisions. From what she saw in him, he was capable of doing this. She learned that from him. Okay, and then I actually feel like there's oh yeah, so we got death and justice and rest and judgment. All right, so I could go into this even further. So she wasn't afraid to let something go. She saw that in him, He wasn't afraid to let something go. She learned how to defend herself, and she learned that she could take a break from needing someone, and I mean, we could keep going. So now she has these things, and she goes, okay, well, now I have the power to make a decision. How do I want to use that? And then she can make a decision on where to go next. So I've got a gentleman who, let's do one more. I got a gentleman, he feels he was taken advantage. Let's say it was in a spiritual setting. He feels he was taken advantage by a woman. What's the good? He found new values that he didn't know. She taught him new values. So something about their exchange, she introduced him to a new world and new values that he did not have before. So if he takes that and he goes, okay, well, this situation taught me new values, and these new values I wish to explore more, rather than going and repeating and going over and over again, well, she took advantage of me, she took, oh, you know what? The whole reason I was attracted to this individual was she had a new set of values that I wasn't used to, and I was introduced to this new world from it. So let me get another one here. Let me see if I can find another one. Let's do another. I've got another woman who had an unfortunate experience with her husband. What came out of that? What did she get from that? Oh, same thing again. Oh, this one, you know what, though? This one feels a little different. Okay, so she had to take a look at her own, his overindulgence showed her own overindulgence. So she enjoyed herself with him in a physical, pleasurable way. That was some of the good. And then she had to sort of recognize that in her own. She learned she liked the finer things from that, but she also learned about her own ability to overindulge. So if you focus on that and then you take that forward, I can try one more. I need a really good example here. A woman who moves out of the city she was in because she feels like it limited her. That particular city was very limiting to her, and she moved out, and she doesn't even want to go back because she feels like it's just the worst, and she feels almost paralyzed about going back. So what's the good? What's the good that came out of that city and being in that city and living in that city? We got the Knight of Swords here. The actual, so the sort of limiting nature of the city gave her the comfort and the security to develop the courage to be able to go off in a new direction on her own. So the very thing that she resents about it was that it felt limiting. At one point gave her the stability and comfort to be able to build the courage to sort of ride off on her own and do her own thing. So what we're doing is we're looking for the nourishment here, not the thing that brings pain, not the victimhood, not the sadness, because when you focus on that stuff over where you're focusing, you end up. And I've said this in other videos before, you end up there. So what we're doing here is we're actually looking at how to grab the nourishment from a situation and then eliminate the waste. And then the more you focus on what you gained from that, the more you have something to work with towards your success. And those people that I have read for, met, and worked with who go for success, who gain a lot of success, these are individuals who take that advantage that they've gained, and then they use the advantage in their favor, and then they use it to get their goals. So, I'm Lucky Lynx, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. I hope that this gives you better understanding, maybe, if you're feeling limited in the area of success, of what you might do to be able to gain greater success or to gain success more easily. Remember, just we're told no pain, no gain. That's not necessarily true. Sometimes it's about working smarter than it is about working harder, and about using the assets that make it easier for you, rather than taking and going over the things that hurt you or harmed us or made it harder, and then putting ourselves in that position where that's all we can see. Because if that's where our mind is, that's all we got. You know, if we're constantly thinking we're hurt or stuck, that's basically where we're at and what we're capable of. And there's real practical reasons that that's true. So if you would like to get a reading from me, 779-302-8009, or you can email me at conjurehope@gmail.com. And if you'd like to take one of my virtual classes, I've got one in tarot, I've got one in crystal ball scrying, I've got one in Mexican Loteria, how to read the Mexican Loteria, I've got one in how to read Lenormand cards, and I've got one in how to read playing cards. So if you're interested in taking one of those classes, then contact me. I can tell you the fees and the details and anything else that you want to know. Try it. Use it. See what advantage you had that you didn't even know that you had.